a seasoned B2B community leader with a diverse background in community, events, and customer marketing. She is the senior manager of community and customer marketing at Apollo.io, and her GTM superpower is sparking conversations through community and events and turning connections into conversions. Today, she will discuss how community driven approaches can elevate customer success, improve product activation, and amplify advocacy, creating a self sustaining cycle of growth. And she will share how community has the potential to serve as a dynamic force that enhances every aspect of GTM. Please join me in welcoming Dani Howe.
So, the topic of today is something that is true and dear to my heart. And I'm sure a lot of you are also thinking about as well as you're thinking about a holistic community strategy. I'm going to be talking about how community can really accelerate your GTM strategy and not really just be that stepchild, unfortunately, that a lot of community managers are. So, I'm going to roll ahead here and talk a little bit more about myself and my background. Currently, I am the senior community and customer marketing manager at Apollo. Having a great time here. The company's on an awesome trajectory, so that's really exciting. Previously to that, I actually founded my own consulting agency for B2B community, which is Spark Marketing and Creative. And I worked with a lot of really awesome clients in the B2B space. So I actually started my career in comms and PR because I realized that, in comms, the way that traditional media was really brought out to the world was actually dying out a little bit. And I joined the B2B SaaS world in 2016, where it was like a unsexy industry. I wanted to disrupt that. And then I realized there must be a better way instead of trying to get our messaging all over the press, all over the world. There must be a better way to connect with our audience. And so that's kind of how I got myself into the community function. It was almost by accident, but also through passion, talking to customers, and being able to see that there's so much potential in this community space. So I built communities at Mutiny, one of my past companies, Procurefly, which was the unsexy industry. It was an awesome company, but it was like in the procurement space, so a little bit harder to build community there. Rippling and now Apollo. So moving along here, I think we can all agree community is a much better way to build a brand and connect with your customers and potential customers. If you guys remember around 10 years ago, we were in that era of mass media, right? This is when I was also doing more of the traditional PR. It was about solving for reach. It was about how many eyeballs can we really attract to our product and our brand. And the quality of that, it could be a little bit questionable. It's more about how many people can see us popping everywhere. And so then marketers got a little bit smarter. We reached the era of personalization. So if you guys remember, this is really where a lot of content marketing really popped off. This is when people started to realize we have different ICPs. What does the ICP actually look like? How can we create better content for them? So it was about solving for effectiveness. And in the recent few years, this is when the era of community really popped off. That's when people realized, wow, there's actually, an even better way to do that. After we personalize the content, there are these influence pods that we can really create to really solve for influence. Being able to get all of our best customers, all of our prospects in a room or in a virtual space and be able to actually build a brand that way. So I would say in this new era of community, there are really a lot of challenges because, a lot of CEOs, founders, a lot of marketing leaders, they see the community as almost like this potentially shiny object, but it's really hard for them to really figure out what the ROI of community is. So I want to do a little bit of a small exercise with everybody. I want to know why your community exists. I'm seeing a lot of the words connection, peer-to-peer, retention, helping our customers get value. That's awesome. See, this is why I love talking to fellow community managers. You guys get it. So community is about providing value. It's not really about like what ROI can I get or what ROI can my company get. It's about how can we provide value to our customers and our audience. And I think this is really the disconnect here when you're talking to members of the leadership team or when you're talking to other peers in the GTM space. A lot of times, how they're thinking about it is from a business perspective. What can we get out of building this community or having this community? But as representatives of our customers and our community members, we're thinking about how can we provide value back to our customers and our community members. And the ROI happens later. But in order to do that, we need to really speak their language. So as I mentioned earlier, community shouldn't exist as a silos. It should actually be a conduit to enable all parts of GTM. So this is a real example of my time here at Apollo. So when I first joined, community was kind of a separate program. So we have all of these amazing marketing and GTM programs that were happening, and phenomenal leaders in each of them. But unfortunately, community was almost I wouldn't say it was an afterthought per se, but it was a little bit separate from a lot of the activities that they were doing. We were not really leveraging and also providing value to our customers in the best way possible. You know, pulling into the different pots and pulling into a lot of the amazing people that are making the other stuff happen. So what we wanted to then create was this unified flywheel. How can community power all parts of this? How can community power social content? How can community power demand gen? How can community power sales? And I'll talk about some real specific examples from my career to hopefully inspire you. I don't know about you guys, but I learn the best when I see examples from my peers and other people. And that's really gets my juices, my brain juices stirring. So hopefully this session does that for you as well. And I am looking at there's some questions, so we will answer the questions a little bit later on, but do know that we will get to them. All right, so another question for you all. How does your community currently work with other organizations? So this may be with sales, this may be with customer success. So the first one is around community and sales. And I know a lot of you are already doing this, but really, again, it's about understanding what sales wants and also what the customers or the members in the community wants. So what community members or customers actually want? They want resources to help them make a informed purchase decision. They don't want buyer's regret. They want education on the product. They want discounts. They want a good deal. They want social proof and references from other customers. So the emotional value here is that they want to make sure the purchase that they're making is actually the right one. And they may want a trial or a free trial week of the product just to see if they like it. And sales leadership, let's be real, it's pretty simple what they want. They want that revenue, right? They want those demos booked. They want pipeline and close won deals. And they also want to make sure the deal actually moves through the pipeline in a reasonable speed. So that's deal velocity. And they want to make sure the deal size is large enough for us to, be able to dedicate all these resources and AEs. And they want their AEs and their team to really attain their quota, right? That's a win-win. So knowing what the customers or the members in the community wants and what sales leadership wants, this is when you really start to create that magic. What are some programs that we can create that really benefit the members of the community, but also sales as well? So I'll give you guys a few examples. One of the things that we do at Apollo is creating a customer advisory board. And the customer advisory board actually is run through our Slack community. So the customer advisory board, we actually have one specific segment for each of our ICPs. So there's one for like the A leaders, there's one for like more technical users, there's one for like marketing leaders as well. So all of our ICP has like a cab in itself. And what we do here is that we actually get people to sign an NDA. So and we make the process, a little bit more formal, just so people are bought in. Of course, we also onboard them. We give them kind of like the rundown of who are your cab leaders. And the cool thing here is that the more we give back to the cab, also the cab, they're also bought into the product mission as well. Before we make an ask, we always make sure that we also make them happy too. So a few things that we get them involved is one through the development of the product. So we want them to have a say in what we're building next. And we do this by, giving them previews, early previews to betas, or even as simple as we have a new design for one of our interfaces. We run it through the cab. We ask them, what do you guys think, right? Thumbs up, thumbs down. Allowing them to be a voice, a customer voice in this whole process also gives them that mindset where they also want to give back too. So what we do from the sales side is that when we need like a reference call or something like that, we would then ask our cab to say, hey, we are trying to close this deal and we want to see if you would be open for a reference call, as they're also looking for like an A leader to talk about Apollo and your experience. Would you be okay with that? And most of the time they're more than happy to do that. So that's one example. I would love to hear if anyone else is creating cabs in your community as well. Another aspect of this is that we took this one step further at this quarter by creating a referenceable customer library. And this is almost all of our social proof. So it has videos, it has case studies, it has testimonials, and even also has snippets from our community as well. And this is something that's a little bit manual for now. Hopefully, we can move this into our CRM later on. But I think this is a really quick win, that you guys can steal for your community if you're not already doing this. What are the snippets from your customers that really, express their love for the product or service that you're selling? And make that available, make that publicly available for your sales team. So this can be enablement material. And we made sure that this list is sortable as well, by use case, by geography, also by titles and location, or I already said location, industries. This way, it makes it super easy for them to filter. And if they need like some sort of snippet when it comes to outreach or when it comes to a cold call, makes it super easy. So we're kind of like making their jobs much easier, enabling them through this customer referenceable library here. All right, moving along. Community and content and social. This is a really awesome one because I know, like, for some community teams, social might actually live under community, but in Apollo, content and social, they're actually, separate from community itself. So, what do customers want when it comes to content and social? Well, they want personal branding and thought leadership. They want to be seen, right? Most people want that. Maybe some people, they don't want to be speaking like myself. This is something that I'm also learning as well. But they want to be recognized. They want opportunities, build their career. Some people want speaking opportunities, as I mentioned, but most people, they want to be promoted, right? They want to move forward with their careers. They want new opportunities. And what does content and social want, right? Well, one of the first things is that they want to hit their metrics. And a lot of that is around traffic, impressions, engagement, followers, clicks. They might also want to make sure that the content that they're creating is not in a black box. They want to incorporate other voices as well, especially customer voices, voices within the industry. And this is where really the community comes in. And I noticed that a lot of you guys are already doing this. So that's really awesome. They also want to build a large mailing list, right? If you think about it, your mailing list of subscribers, that's actually a community in itself. It's just not facilitated in the own community yet. They want that brand presence. They want to be shown all over the world, all over the place online, right? They want those conversions. They want those mentions. And if you're going to be sending out email campaigns, they definitely want those opens and clicks. So again, same thought exercise, thinking about what the customers or the members want and what content leadership wants. What are some programs we can create here that really benefit both parties? I know a lot of you guys are already doing this, so feel free to drop in the chat if you have some ideas as well. So here's some examples we've done at Apollo in the past few weeks or month. One of the things that we do in our community is that we actually have our community leads program. Our community leads are leaders within the community, volunteers in the community that are really, really excited about not just Apollo, but the community in itself. And these are also people who are super smart. They're like practitioners in their day to day. They know how to use the product inside and out, and they're very passionate about building community with us. So what we were thinking was, if people are already naturally leading within the community, why don't we just promote them officially? We got them to do a title change. We made these beautiful headshots for them. We announced them on social, which was like a huge social takeover campaign, not just from our social account, but we provided them, a one-pager guide where here's some messaging examples. If you're not somebody who usually posts a lot on LinkedIn, right? You might need a little bit of guidance. So we provided that for them. And then we made sure this was a celebration for everybody. And we refresh our roster every single year as well. So we bring in some new faces, and also, if people no longer have that capacity, we want to make sure we give them the opportunity to transition to. So that's one example. Another example we do is that we bring in third-party speakers for our community events, but we don't want to just, announce that in our community. We also want to make sure, that goes on social as well. So, of course, we announce the events as they are happening. That's one thing that we do, but we also really try to share some snippets from the event, right? Like, what are some takeaways? So I think the key word here when it comes to social and content is around repurposing. What are things that you can repurpose from the events that you're doing in the community, the posts from members. What are some insights from members that you can really repurpose and package into some moment on social? You can also think about it this way. If the content team is telling you they want to create an article around XYZ, can we pull some insights from community members to really, provide some of that extra level of credibility there? The third example here on the left, hopefully you guys can see, we actually created our first GTMEs, which is our go-to market Emmys. And this was not my idea, so I don't want to take credit for it. This was my wonderful friend Taylor's idea. She was thinking it would be amazing to build these customer awards and allow the community to be a big part of that, to really nominate customers, to really make sure that they're getting the recognition and the visibility. And this was super successful. We had different categories of awards. We had also even one that was, I think, was the most active community member award. So we pulled that directly through the community. We also had award for our partners. So we have a partners channel in the community, and that was just a moment of celebration. So we had an award ceremony where people all logged on live and congratulated each other. So that was a really awesome social moment. Again, repurposing. We then brought all of our content onto a blog post where we summarized each of the winners. We also gave each of the winners an opportunity to have a LinkedIn takeover to all of our 100K followers. So that was really awesome too for our customers and our followers because that allowed them to build their personal brands. So those are three little examples from our end here. All right, community and product. This is an interesting one. I feel like this is one where the communities that I've worked on, it's been a little bit more of a challenge just because products, especially engineering, they're a little bit more on the technical side. So sometimes they don't really see like, oh, how can we work better with community? But I think if you really master this piece, there's a lot of magic to be created together. And I would say, especially this quarter, we've been really working closer with the product and product marketing team. So I'm excited to share with you guys a few things that we're doing. So, what do customers want from product? Right? I'm sure you guys are also customers of software and products yourself. So, what do you guys want? Well, I'll like read out a few here, but feel free to drop a few more in the chat. A say in what they're building. Are we building the right things, right? Am I liking the product that I bought? Am I getting the most out of the product that I purchased for, right? Are the promises being kept? I want to know what you guys are building on the roadmap, right? If there's any gaps, I want to make sure that, my voice is being heard. And I also want that, peace of mind that whatever I'm telling you guys, you're taking that into consideration somewhat. And the last thing is that I want to make sure that I'm getting use out of the product so I can really up level myself. I can get promoted, I can get that recognition. And what does product leadership care about? They want that product market validation. Are we building the right things that would make us money? They want new product signups, that acquisition. They actually do want customer feedback, right? A lot of really strong product marketing leaders, they're always asking for that. And the ones who take it one step further, hopefully they actually come to you and say, hey, can we grab a few pieces of feedback from your community? Can you guys help us facilitate that? And they want active users, right? Activation, product usage. So we measure weekly active users, and we also measure active users based on features as well. There's also feature adoption. Are people actually using all of the features that we've launched, right? Are people retaining with the company or the product? And of course, they also care about revenue as well. So again, same exercise. What are some things that we can do in the community to really benefit both parties, what customer wants and what product leadership wants? So here's a few things that actually we launched just this quarter. This was something that is also somewhat new to us too, but I'm excited to share. So one thing that we started doing is every single time we're going to be launching a new feature, we actually allow the community to see that first. This is before even we open up the beta. This is like basically right after the engineering team says, "Hey, we have a workable version. We have the product designed." We do a AMA with the community where we showcase, hey, here's actually what we're building and here's why we're building it. And then we showcase the product, but also we share some best practices as well from one of the leaders on our team or a third party speaker. And then afterwards, we literally open up the session for an Ask Me Anything session. So people can ask any questions. And these lovely people here, one is our PMM, one is our actually product manager. And Cole here, he's actually on our lifecycle team. So he actually shares some real examples from Apollo ourselves. So that was really, really an awesome session. And we started doing a lot of these sessions more and more, right? Around, product that we are going to be launching, but also products that people may not really know about, right? We had a session around conversation intelligence. A lot of people don't actually know that Apollo actually records meetings and it has gauntlet capabilities where you can actually get those meeting insights, right? People were surprised to even know we have that product, and that's why we do these sessions with the community, right? It's to give them that insight into the product, but also that bridge. I think someone mentioned the word bridge there. I love that word. A bridge into the product world. And the product also has an opportunity to hear from our customers as well. Here's another example. We recently realized that we need to have more technical users to give us some more valuable feedback. So we actually really launched another sector of the CAB, our customer advisory board, which is the enrichment advisory board. We just kicked this off, so this isn't even like fully launched yet, and I'm showing you guys because I love you guys. I want to let you guys know what we're working on and hopefully give you some inspiration. But we're launching this program to really allow a conduit for our customers to really give us valuable feedback on the enrichment product. And in return, we actually provide our product team, our engineers, and even a researcher to be in these sessions so that they're actually making sure they're hearing the voices of the customer. And then afterwards, they are taking all that feedback and then making it into all of the new product developments that we're shipping in the next few quarters. And I gotta go fast here because I realize I'm running out of time. So gonna fast forward a little bit here. We also do AMAs where our product marketing team comes into the community every single Thursday. People can ask any questions on the roadmap, around the product, best practices, anything. And also, I think I saw this too in the chat here, where we are logging feature requests. So we have like a product feedback channel where people can say, hey, here's what we want to see. They can also log bugs for us. Hey, this is kind of really working weirdly. And then we make sure we have a system to really bring that over to the product team. Another example from Mutiny, so we actually gamified product activation. So we created two programs. I couldn't find the visual example for the first one, but we did a program called March Madness. Again, this was not my idea. This was my peer Molly, but we facilitated that through the community. So it was super cool. We basically got people to really submit like an experiment through the platform itself, and submit their real results. And we pit teams against each other, similar to the real March Madness. And people had brackets, right? So there was people that were eliminated, and there was a grand prize winner at the end. And we actually created some really cool trading cards with their faces on there for social. So that was a really cool campaign. And then Mutiny, we actually did another one that was Survivor themed. So we got people to really get on teams again, and there was, these certain segments where people were eliminated, and at the end there was a final winner. So the final version of this I actually wasn't able to see because I left the company already, but they actually took this one step further with the speakers from a lot of really amazing companies, and they actually shared some of their favorite playbooks as well. So those are some examples from my past roles around product. And I think this is the last one because I want to make sure we get into the questions. So what customer success wants and what customers want? Well, it's pretty simple. Like the word is already in the word, right? Customer success. They want to be successful and they want to be supported. So I won't go into that. But what does CS and support actually care about? They care about making sure the customers stay with the company. They want to make sure that people are renewing. Hopefully there's opportunities for upsells, right? Especially if you're a PLG-led company, you might have like a freemium version. Are people actually paying for that? They want good NPS scores. And they also want to make sure they're resolving their issues, right, in a good rate. So a few things that we've been doing with that is that, we've actually launched a support channel through the community. And this was a little bit controversial at first because people were like, we don't want customers talking, bad about the product. But the thing is, if we don't give them a forum to do that, they're going to do that somewhere else anyways. And we'd rather have that visibility. So we did that. And another thing is that we've launched these playbooks at Mutiny and now Apollo, where we got people to really tell their stories, not just through the community, but we pull from community members as well. And then we launched an event around that, and then we got people to also share their thoughts on social as well. So we've made sure that we gave them, the enablement material, and also we gave them the snippets, like like a little video or a little screenshot of that to make it super successful and they can really show off their work. So I know I breezed through that, and unfortunately, we only have 1 minute left. But I'm going to check the Q&A real quick to see if there's something I can answer here for you guys. Aaron, do you have any recommendations for attracting engaging community members that are senior employees and VIPs? Yes. So for this one, and this is a common question I get from my roles, I think this is a tough one because the way that senior executives interact is going to be very different from practitioners. So I think actually the key here is doing a little bit more in person. I've noticed that every single time we do like in-person dinners, senior executives, they really respond well to that. Another thing is name dropping. So if you name drop another senior executive in the community and you try to get others, it really works well as well. That's a really good question. Which platform do we host the community on? On Slack. Let's see. When creating win-win offers, how do you ensure the value exchange remains equitable? Yes. So this is where you need to protect the interests of your community members here. So one of our biggest jobs as community managers is making sure we are representing the customers in the right way. So if someone approaches us with something that's very self-serving, it's our job to say no. But we say it like no, but we can do this instead, right? So that's something that you can really think about. And I know I'm a little bit running out of time here, so Beth, let me know if we can answer another question. But it was really a pleasure to be here with you all. Feel free to connect with me on LinkedIn if you have any other questions, and I'm happy to share the slides as well.
Thank you so much, Dani. I love that you just like took Q&A for yourself. You're like, we're going to get through all of these questions. I love it. Thank you. And thank you for joining us.